Hi, this is Richard from OneClearMessage.com, talking about communication conflict solutions. What tools can we use to mitigate or reduce conflict in business and our personal lives? Positive conflict is an opportunity to go deeper, clarify what people mean, and build a solid foundation in your relationships. Negative conflict is about resentment, miscommunication. These arise from differing needs, a lack of understanding of communication, and politics. Conflict, however, can be an opportunity for growth. In 1990, Elizabeth Newton earned her PhD in psychology at Stanford with her tapper and listener experiment. In this experiment, tappers had to tap out one of two songs, Happy Birthday or the Star-Spangled Banner. And what was fascinating, most of the tappers guessed incorrectly how many people would guess what they tapped out. So try it now. Tap out on the desk in front of you either the Star-Spangled Banner or Happy Birthday. Something quite fascinating happens. As you're tapping it out, you hear the music in your head. Anybody else listening just hears. The idea in communication is to clarify what you mean. One of the best examples is Nordstrom's, a department store in the US. There, instead of saying our employees should go the extra mile for service, what they do is they clarify what they mean. They tell stories to clarify what they mean by service. A customer came into a Nordstrom store wanting to buy a shirt to go to a meeting in. The server went away, the Nordy, what they call the servers at Nordstrom's, went away and got an iron from the housewares department, came back and ironed the shirt because they go the extra mile for service. Clarifying what you mean can help avoid conflict. A little exercise. If you can find another person or push against a wall, stand and push as hard as you can. What you find is it's hard to push. If you're doing it with another person, the harder they push, the more you have to push back. And what's interesting is you create a situation where you entrench your position. It's like throwing an egg into hot water versus throwing an egg into cold water. If you throw it into cold water, the contents of the egg is fluid and it is still potential home to life. If you throw the egg into hot water, it's boiled, gets rigid, and nothing changes. So what are the antidotes to conflict? Use repair mechanisms. Soften the message. When you're communicating with somebody else, I feel rather than you should. Use the 3-2-1 feedback method in order to soften your approach and allow the other person to hear. The 3-2-1 evaluation method is also on this video tube clip. The next thing you can do is reverse the buts. When you say but in a sentence, it is often taken as negating everything that went before. As an example, if somebody does a presentation, you say, it was a nice presentation, but, and then you list a whole lot of issues. They don't hear it was a nice presentation. They pay attention to the issues that come after the but. If you reverse the but, put the negative context first. You're a little bit unclear in your presentation, but I really enjoyed the humor. It makes it a lot easier to hear and is one of the things can help avoid conflict. The 100-to-1. No matter who we're speaking to or what they're saying, we can generally find at least 1% of what they say that we can agree with. Focus on that. Find the 1% you agree with and agree with it 100%. You create a positive platform to build from. Laughter honestly is the best medicine. An honest laugh snaps somebody out of a negative state and can lift them up into a positive state. Once they're in a positive state, it's very easy for them to maintain that. They don't really have to do anything. In order for them to get back into a negative state, they have to pay attention and use a lot of energy, remembering all the issues that they've had. Happiness has been proven to lead to more success. Sean Acho from Harvard did a variety of studies and looked at how a positive attitude and a sense of humor can improve success in business directly. How's this for a statistic? The average preschooler laughs or smiles about 400 times a day versus the average adult who only laughs or smiles 15 times a day by the age of 35. Laughter helps us cope with stress. Humor used can effectively diffuse conflict. We can effectively reduce the level of intensity amongst employees and interactions between people. Humor reduces depression, anger, and helps anxiety dissolve. Happiness is a huge antidote to stress. The other thing that is very effective is anchoring. Anchoring is setting up an opportunity for the person to be consistent from that point onwards. If you, when you interact with somebody, start the conversation as, I've got a problem or an issue with your company, you've anchored them in a negative position and it's going to be an uphill battle from there onwards. If, however, you set it up and you frame it positively at the beginning, thank you for being so friendly, for being so enthusiastic. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I'm sure together we can achieve something quite successful here. Try it with waitresses, waiters, try it with receptionists. For many of us, the first contact with people is a complaining, negative, grumpy face. From there onwards, that has set the tone for the interaction. If, however, you can shift it and you can approach with a positive, friendly frame, it is a lot easier to continue on and be helpful and positive. In summary, see conflict as an opportunity to develop your relationship, go deeper, and clarify what you mean. When you clarify what you mean, it's a lot easier to be on the same page and avoid conflict altogether. The 3-2-1 evaluation method is on a separate clip. Look for it on www.oneclearmessage.com. Reverse your buts. Put the negative statement first, but, and then explain with examples the positive. The 100 to 1, find 1% of what they say and agree with it 100%. Use humor to shift their perspective, to enable them to see things in a different light. The resources that were used for this talk: John Gottman, The 7 Principles for Making a Marriage Work; Carol Dweck, Mindset; Sean Achor, The Happiness Advantage; Mark Golston, Just Listen; Kerry Patterson, Crucial Confrontations. Thank you.